please. If we can all quiet down for a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, if I can have your attention, please. We're about to begin the entertainment portion of today's activities. So if you could all find a seat. Thank you.
learned violin when we were ages 4 and 5, and we learned by the Suzuki method. The first song that they teach you is Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. So this is variations on Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star by Mozart.
First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out today to honor two very special people, Lyle and Marie, and their 60 years of marriage. So I know what you're thinking, who the hell is this guy? I am the lucky guy who is married to the violinist who just played Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. That's Leanna Hansen. She's the daughter of Lyle and Marie, which makes Lyle and Marie my mom and dad too. I am one of two son-in-laws. The other lucky guy is Larry Hooper, who is also here with us today. He is married to Lyle and Marie's other beautiful daughter, Carla. So with the question answered, who is that guy, we can start. It all began one fateful evening at a dance hall in Pullman. Mom's date for that evening, a foolish young twit with his priorities and judgment clearly askew, had stood her up. But all was not lost. In fact, far from it. For in that very same dance hall, on that very same night, was a handsome, clear-eyed young man named Lyle, who knew a good thing when he saw it, and could more than hold his own on the dance floor as well. All it took was a twirl here and a dip there, and by the end of the night, they were both smitten. 2 respectable years later came a very modest wedding and a reception at the Episcopal church that Marie attended as a child. Closest thing to Greek Orthodox, Marie said. The ceremony was followed by a short 3-hour drive to Portland, where the newlyweds honeymooned for a week at Mel's Motel. And ate their meal at the all-you-can-eat 99-cent buffet across the street. Thus began what is now the 60-year love affair and marriage of Lyle and Marie. Which brings me to the question, what is love? Love is a feeling that is warm, wonderful, and exhilarating. Nothing can really compare. The world and everything in it is more beautiful when we are in the throes of romantic love. But love is more than a pounding heart and starry eyes, isn't it? Within a marriage, love is also a decision to be devoted, unselfish, faithful, a decision to forgive, be kind, apply oneself towards being a thoughtful and supportive partner each and every day. For 60 years now, Mom and Dad have made the decision to keep the promise that they made to each other on their wedding day, to love and support one another, and it's worked out pretty well for them. It hasn't always been a bed of roses. In fact, in their years together, they have certainly encountered better and worse, richer and poorer, health and sickness. But with each supporting the other, Mom and Dad's life together has been and continues to be happy and deeply satisfying. They both love life and each other. They lead active, engaged lives, traveling, volunteering, acting, dancing, exercising, and socializing with family and their many great friends. Both have had very accomplished careers. Mom as a teacher and assistant principal, Dad also as a teacher and union president. Each has earned a master's degree, and Dad has his doctorate. Together, they have raised two very special, talented, as you just saw, and beautiful daughters, Carla and my wonderful wife, Leanna. They have two amazing grandchildren as well, grandson Kerry, a West Point graduate, working in the field of cyber security, and soon to be married to his lovely medical doctor fiancée Melanie. Good job. And granddaughter Alicia. Alicia is pursuing her passion to help others in the field of social work. So Mom and Dad, thank you for giving me the opportunity to celebrate this special day with you and say a few words about the praiseworthy life that the two of you have made together. I love you both very much. Thank you. So I'd like to propose a toast. To Lyle and Marie and their 60 years and counting of love and devotion. Cheers.
Love you, Lyle, Marie.
Can't wait for 70.
And I'm so happy to be here right now, and I've prepared a short speech. Let's call it a toast though, so we have another excuse to drink. Does that sound good? Grandma and Grandpa, 60 years ago, you both made a decision that changed your lives forever, and it was a decision that gave me mine. With 60 years of marriage behind you, and many more ahead, there's very little that you have not seen and have not done. This is a great time to sit back and reflect on the time that you spent together, the accomplishments that you've achieved, and the happiness that you've shared with each other, and all of us sitting here in this room today. I want you to take a moment to look at all of the faces around you. I want you to soak this feeling up, because all of us here have something very special in common. Every single one of us has been impacted by you both as individuals, but we've also been impacted by the partnership that you've created together. Just like a fine wine paired with fine cheese, Grandpa, humor me here, but you're the cheese, mostly because Grandma's lactose intolerant, but also we've all heard your jokes. But the point is, you're two incredible humans on your own, but combined you are an unstoppable force. You complement each other in the most organic of ways. But let's rewind for a second. I wish I could shake the hand of the young man that stood Grandma up that night at the university. I want to shake his hand because if it weren't for his stupidity, your paths may have never crossed. While at first Grandma thought that was the quickest end to a date that never even started, little did she know the love of her life was about to ask her to dance, and that dance would last 60 plus years. Well, I think it's fair to say that it wasn't Grandpa's stuffy comment about his delightful hometown of Enumclaw that won Grandma over that night. I think his good looks and solid dance moves probably helped pave the way to your heart. I might add that he still has those killer dance moves, you guys. Like, amazing. When I was a young girl, I didn't understand love, but I always felt it when I was in your home. Now that I'm a young woman, I reflect on all of those little things that I witnessed and felt growing up as your granddaughter, and it makes perfect sense to me. All of those home-cooked meals make sense. All of those moments, Grandpa squeezed your hand extra tight, Grandma, it makes sense. The way you both look at each other when the other one speaks, with that sparkle in your eye and slight smile on your face, makes sense. It hasn't always been easy, but nothing truly good ever is. I'm sure that there were plenty of eye rolls and yes years along the way. But with every argument, there was a kiss goodnight, and with every tear, there was a hand of the other to wipe it away. You've supported each other through every single disaster, adventure, and pleasure that life has given you, and you continue to support me in those exact same ways. Grandpa, one of my wishes is to someday find a dead Jimmy of my own, preferably an alive one, but you get the point. You have a brilliant mind, a lot of ambition, and you've always supported the women in your life and loved them wholeheartedly. Grandma, every day I hope that I can embody a little bit of Courtney Parfait. Hopefully I'll be a little bit more observant, but you also get the point. You're hardworking, intelligent, and truly one of the most loving humans I know. You and Grandpa have taught me so much and continue to teach me so much through every single interaction we have. Thank you for choosing to spend your lives together, and thank you so much for making me a part of something so wonderful and rare. Happy anniversary, and cheers to many more.
Where you going, man?
Are available. Cupcakes are now available. Hello, everyone. I'm Carrie. I'm the grandson, the only grandson. I tell Alicia often I'm the favorite grandson. To which she responds, Carrie, stop talking with food in your mouth. So I'm Carrie, Melanie and I, my fiance and I, we flew in from Dallas in a surprise to both Grandpa Lyle and Grandma Marie. So their jaws dropped to the floor just a few hours before this event. So why are we here? We're celebrating 60. 60 is huge. Is it the number? Is it a long amount of time? Is it 60 years? But I think we're here to celebrate the quality of time, the quality of those 60 years, which I think has been outstanding. At least I've witnessed for the last 29 some very quality time between these two. Marriage is about promise, and it's about love, it's about partnership. Back in Augusta, Georgia, I spoke to my deacon, and he says, a marriage is when two families is not just when two families become one, but it's about two people creating a new family of their own. Grandpa Lyle and Grandma Marie have had an extensively long marriage. It's meant much time to put love into creating their own family. And I think we see the riches in here, and not just the family over here of blood, but also the chosen family, all the rest of you, everyone they choose to surround themselves with, and I think that's extremely powerful. Let's begin with the couple. It began with a sailor. A sailor approached a little lady looking lonely in a dance hall. She was from Puyallup, and he was from Enumclaw, which was very nice if you're into small towns. And the rest is history. I wasn't alive for that, but I would like to think that these two were inseparable. Especially after Grandpa got out of the Navy. They followed each other everywhere to State College and back. My earliest memories place them side by side, always supporting each other, always caring for each other. They both became educators together. They both volunteered together with the Guild, with the Children's Hospital, if you're familiar with that. Both are authors, which is very interesting. Grandpa Lyle with Sasquatch Superstar, and those of you who may not know, Grandma Marie created a cookbook recently. And 29 years later, they remain a loving entity. They also give back to their community. I've seen this as a major theme in their relationship throughout their lives. One, their chosen profession, being a teacher. It's not a glorious profession, but just to give so much to the students and their families shows a lot about them. They gave their hearts to them, but it was extremely rewarding. They received richness from that. And no matter where they were, I've noticed, they always tried to make their community or make their environment better. Grandpa, your backyard in Bothell, you created this beautiful garden out in the backyard. You kept working and made this beautiful fountain. Grandma Marie, you were active in the Homeowners Association in Birch Bay. Both your work for the Guild and the Children's Hospital. And when you moved to Trilogy, you're working on the Trail Commission here. You guys are always trying to make the community and the environment better for everyone. And I think that's very respectable. The communities that you've been a part of have always been under the umbrella of your love. And finally, I'd like to acknowledge the family that they created. Followed each other across the country, raised two kind, beautiful, and intelligent daughters. Where's Leanne? We inspired them to take up music all the way until after high school, which is amazing. And you saw an example of that, still a big part of their lives now. I recall the page, and I read Sasquatch Superstar a while back, and I think in the preface, you dedicate the book to your daughters, and how lovely Carla and Leanna are, and I really appreciate that, Grandpa. Grandma, we felt and enjoyed your food. Every Christmas we came to your house. You introduced me to Kibi, to tabbouleh, to mamul. I love tabbouleh. It's my favorite food. You guys might recognize it as the salad at the beginning of the buffet. And Grandma, nothing's been as good as your tabbouleh. I'll frequently take tabbouleh from restaurants. I'll order it, whether it's $2 or $10. Immediately be just so disappointed. And then I'll take it back home and add my own bulgur and add my own lemon juice and salt and mint. I'm a tabbouleh snob, and I'm okay with that. So as Lyle and Marie shared their love with each other, shared their love with their community, shared their love with their daughters, their entire family grew. This celebration is, I think, highlighted by the quality of people in this room that have all been under the umbrella of Grandma Marie's and Grandpa Lyle's love. Throughout my life, they've been a prime example of love and dedication toward each other. Alicia alluded to that. Definitely for me, for their daughters, and I think for the Hoopers too. They've been together at all the family functions, and we see their dedication towards each other. I think you created a wonderful family, rich with love, not just of blood, but of who you've chosen to surround yourself with, and I think that's extremely important as well. It's a wonderful example for me to emulate. I look forward to that in a few months. And who would have thought at the time this strapping sailor, would sweep away this dainty damsel and result in this spectacular marriage over the last 6 years. So congratulations, Grandpa Lyle and Grandma Marie.
Okay. Yeah.
Can I have everybody's attention again, please? There you go. Marie was going to say a little something because we see people are stir crazy. Speak up.
Even though my legs are shaking, I want to share with you our journey of 60 years.
Remember your acting training. That's right. Jack.
We're jacked. Well, some of this is going to be a repeat. But anyway, our real anniversary is December 27th. But on December 27th, in 1958, the electricity went out during our ceremony. And so the church ladies were scurrying around getting a lot of candles. And then 50 years later, we had the celebration year trilogy, and it was the worst snowstorm. That was in 2008. So Lyle and I decided we better not choose the 27th. Both Lyle and I were students at Washington State, then college, but now Washington State University.
Go Cougs.
Cougs, yeah. What happened is true. I got stood up for a blind date. And I was humiliated. But anyway, some of my friends says, oh, let's go to the Cubby, which is a little dance place underneath the student union building. So I went, and the one friend I went with saw one of her friends, and he asked her to dance, and Lyle happened to be at that same table. So then he asked me to dance. So we danced the rest of the evening, and then he walked me back to the dorm. He would do little tricks like there was a tree right in front of my window at the dormitory, and I was on the 3rd floor. He would do little tricks like climbing up the tree and throwing pebbles at my window to get attention. That was kind of fun because the house mother, she was very strict, and I didn't know if I was going to be kicked out of the door or what. But then he asked me to a formal dance, and at that evening he let me know that he was going to go into the Navy, or he was in reserves, right? Yeah, but he was going for active duty. So I was disillusioned with my major, and I decided to change to education, so I transferred to Central Washington. Well, he traveled to Japan, Hong Kong, Formosa. We kept writing to each other. Then finally, he was stationed in Bremerton. My dad lived in Puyallup. And my dad was born in Lebanon and was a very good cook. So Lyle and my dad got along fabulously. Lyle always wanting to come to our house for dinner. Anyway, after that, I got my first job in Edmonds School District, and Lyle was out of the Navy then, and then he decided to go in education also. So he was in Ellensburg, and I was in Edmonds. And we kept writing and talking and such. Finally, he asked me to marry him. My dad would keep questioning me. Aren't you going to get married yet? What was I to do? Anyway, the second quarter, he the last quarter, of his education, he did his student teaching in Kirtland. And so he would commute from Edmonds to Kirtland. And then, gotta pardon me. Well, then the next year, he was offered a job in Lake Washington School District. And he accepted it, but he said that if he would accept it if they had a position for me. And at that time, we didn't even have to interview. We just got the job. We lived in Michigan. Well, let me backtrack a minute because remember our honeymoon at Mel's Motor Factory? Well, the first year, the second year, we had 2 salaries because he got a job. And so we lived on one salary and saved the other salary. And we had a 13-country wonderful tour of Europe, which took its place of Mel's hotel. Michigan State. We lived in student housing, and we lived through a tornado warning, and we had to evacuate our student housing apartment. And I was 8 months pregnant, and we had to drive to the stadium, and underneath the stadium they had areas for us to park our car and wait for the storm to quit. So that's what we did. But we had to wake up Carla, who was fast asleep, and grab her blanket and teddy bear and traipse to the stadium. Then, so he earned one master's degree, and he had a great experience professionally, and it was good for all of us. We came back to Washington, where he had a job waiting, and then our next adventure was going cross-country to Penn State. The girls were in grades 1 and 5, and I was a little apprehensive at first because not knowing the school systems, but it worked out really well. So they got their elementary education there. Lyle earned his doctorate degree in science education, and we were both involved in supervising student teachers. I earned my master's, and I also was working in the same office as Lyle. So he would say, "You're working under me," which I didn't like. And this is not quite true, because yes, he was an instructor, and I worked in the same office, but I was responsible for my group of teachers, student teachers. After Penn State, we lived in Queensgate in the Portland Lake area for 25 years. And then Lyle retired, and I kept on working. I was in Highland School District at the time. And we decided to build our retirement home in Birch Bay, which is 2 hours away from here, if you're lucky. And pretty soon, so we did build our home there, and I put in everything I wanted. And then Lyle all of a sudden said, "You know, this is not fun driving down I-5 to go to our granddaughters and grandsons' activities and to see our daughter and our one daughter anyway that lived in Redmond." So we sold our house at the right time, fortunately, and moved to Trilogy. And we've been here for 12 years.
12 years?
We've had a good life together, and we have a wonderful family. And we have an extended family, too, over there. The rest of the Hoopers. Lyle is very considerate, generous, kind, highly educated, and he keeps me giggling mostly, but sometimes groaning with his corny jokes. And he's my friend. He supports me. He has always supported me with my goals. He'll say, "Do you really want to go get your administrative credentials?" "Yes." "Okay." He's my friend. He supports me. and we have a mutual respect for each other. So we're glad we found each other.
I decided to do this a little differently than some of the others. And that is to have a surprise called Marie's Surprise Poems. Well, some weeks ago, she showed me a kind of a love poem that I had sent to her probably 1959 or somewhere in there. And it's called Your Eyes, to Marie by Lyle. She dug this out. She's had this hidden for all that time. But I figured she must have liked it because she brought it out and showed me. So it goes like this. Across that spacious, cubby room, my mind perceived a prize. To clear away my gloom, your lovely Lebanese eyes. Despite your many awesome traits, I cannot overemphasize the one which truly rates your eternally beautiful eyes. Your intellect is also rare, and one to canonize, but none other can compare to your exciting eyes. When I hold you close to me, and seek to harmonize with you, I always see your electric, soulful eyes. As my mate, my lover, your spirit helps me visualize and constantly discover your dazzling, radiant eyes. There are some others in here, but I won't read them all. But one that I did not write myself, and you need to memorize. It's called The World's Shortest Poem. And The History of Fleas is the title. And Adam Hammond. Shortest poem in the world ever devised. And I'm sorry I didn't think of it. Now, there's one more I'd like to read to you, and it's on the front page of this document. And then we'll see a video that this one has inspired. It's called A Small Package of Dynamite. In her everyday life, my demure petite wife is so sweet and most gentle, but cross her and she may turn dead. Her stage debut was a rousing success. She helped the production avoid distress. Our cast was missing a quirky parfait. She said, I believe I can help you today. So donning the cutest blonde wig, she played her part amazingly big. She read and raved at a not-so-bright cop. I was a not-so-bright cop who enlisted his mother to get her to stop. So let it be written when stories are told, even small ladies express themselves bold. Dynamite explosions need only a spark, and little gals knock it out of the park. about it. Except for the little video clip that I'd like to show this time, which is actually the tail end of a recent play that we were both in. And I was the not-so-bright cop, and she was the cute little realtor that made some bad choices.
I couldn't have done it without our director, David. And the rest of the staff, Peggy, Carol, Doug,
Bill,
yeah.
and the audience too. The audience was great.
Yeah. So, anyway, thank you.
Yeah.